Well, hey there, everybody. Bryan C. Dunn here. And I wanted to take a moment. We're wrapping up here at the end of 2020, and I just wanted to share a little story with you that maybe will get you to thinking as we come on 2021. And it's a story I normally tell at a different time of the year, but I think it's very apropos for what we're doing right now and how we're living right now. And the story is normally about the Easter ham, but we can call this the New Year's Eve ham. And this is a story about a mom who is teaching her daughter how to make the Easter ham, the family recipe. And so the mom takes the ham out and she has the daughter get all of the spices out, the cloves and all of the preparation materials. And the first thing the mom does is she takes the ham and she takes a cleaver and cuts off one chunk of the ham and throws it away. And then on the other side, cuts another end off the ham and throws it away. Two substantial chunks of meat to where the ham is yay big. And the daughter said, "Mommy, why do we cut the ends off the ham?" And her mom looked at her quizzically and thought about it and said, "Well, that's the recipe. That's how your grandma taught me to make the New Year's ham." And it just so happened, Grandma was walking through and she said, "Mom, we're curious here. The recipe, and how you taught me to prepare the New Year's ham was to cut each end off the ham. Why do we cut the ends off the ham?" And Grandma thought about that for a moment. She said, "Well, that's just been the family recipe. That's how my mom taught me." Well, they were very fortunate because great-grandma was still around, and she was in the other room enjoying Jeopardy, and they walked in. It could have been Wheel of Fortune. I don't remember the story exactly. So they walked in. They said, "Well, great-grandma, why do we cut the ends off the New Year's ham?" And great-grandma, without a beat, says, "Well, we only had a pan this big." It's a very cute story. It's a very funny story, but it's a very telling story. And that is, while it made sense at a certain timeline, a certain time frame, out of necessity to be wasteful and getting rid of a third of that ham, no longer was that the situation. And so cutting the ends off the ham when we have larger cooking trays or larger pans is just wasteful and needless. When I first heard that story, I found it very quaint and very cute, probably a lot like you right now. But as I thought about it more, I realized how telling it is about the way that we function in society when it comes to our beliefs and the way that we approach problem solving, the way that we approach the work dynamic, the way that we approach interactions with others. And that is, we are frequently tied to the way we've done it in the past, which made sense in the past, but no longer is pertinent. And I encourage all of you to kind of step back and analyze what's been going on. How have you been living your life? What are your personal beliefs and perspectives that may not be applicable anymore? When I was a teacher, I found myself doing that all the time because we usually, as teachers, teach the way we were taught. But the way we were taught served a purpose at that time, in that era. We didn't have the technology that we do now. And as a matter of fact, when I was in junior high, everybody's a critic. When I was in junior high, that was the first year that they had had a computer lab in a school. That was the era, 1982, right? And so that was a big deal. And but now there are computers everywhere. We don't even think about it. In fact, I'm recording this on a computer that I carry with me and make phone calls with and whatnot. So we've had to shift our perspective. And while there are many benefits to adhering to tradition, in some ways, frequently they're wasteful, they're narrow-minded, they're not moving forward, and we wind up being left behind. So my big concern is that our leaders, our politicians, our business leaders, our educators, and the like are still adhering to approaches and ways of doing things that are not beneficial because they're rooted in the past. And it's not so much that they're not okay approaches, but they're not moving forward with the rate of humans and the rate of technology. And when we're stuck like that, we fail to be able to open our eyes, open our minds, and see all of the amazing opportunities. And there's something to be said for respecting tradition, respecting the past. But if we're doing it blindly, just because we're afraid to make the changes or we're willfully ignorant, then that's going to just kind of impede us from moving forward and being more successful. That's one of the things that I do as a functional life coach, and that's one of the things that we do at Coaching in Life, is to kind of help shift your perspective. Sometimes it's not so easy, but what I do, or what I'm doing right now, is encouraging you to consider, is my line of thinking antiquated? Is my belief about this specific action or philosophy still appropriate? Is it benefiting me, or is it holding me back? And when we start to analyze our behaviors, our actions, our beliefs, our philosophies, then we can move forward. Because maybe for your family, cutting the ends off the ham is not a big deal and it's fine. But maybe if you have a really good ham recipe, maybe having that much more ham can allow you to feed one more person, or make a few more ham sandwiches later on, or benefit someone else in some other way. So consider this. Thank you for your time. Thank you for spending this time with me, and thank you for being there as clients, as friends, as relatives, as support, and as my co-coaches at coachinginlife.com. Thank you, guys. I value you. I appreciate you. And until we meet again, inhale relaxation, exhale tension, and be well, and have a safe new year.